Did the divine madman really use his flaming thunderbolt to tame demons? Unearth the mystique behind Bhutan's quirky traditions. Bhutan is a place where myths and magic are seamlessly woven into the tapestry of its history. Here, tales of dragons, garudas, and mystical spirits aren't merely seen as folklore or imaginative stories. They are regarded as genuine pieces of the nation's past. And when delving into the captivating annals of Bhutan, one can't help but encounter the intriguing and unforgettable character known as Drukpa Kuenley. In this video, we will explore the intriguing life of Drukpa Kuenley and his unconventional teaching methods. So, stay with us till the end. Drukpa Kuenley, also known as the crazy yogi of the Drukpa, was born in the year 1455 in the Ralung monastery complex in the Tibetan region of Kishio, which is the traditional term for the area around Lhasa. His family, the Gya clan, was associated with the Drukpa Kagyu tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, branch of the Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. His father, Rinchen Sangpo, was an official of Ralung and belonged to the Gya family. Drukpa Kuenley's mother, Lady Gongmo Ki, had a noble background. According to his autography, he also had a younger brother and sister, but their names are not mentioned anywhere. As a young boy, Drukpa Kuenley was playful, often pretending to be an ascetic hermit. However, his family faced turmoil due to the power struggles within the family, and his father was murdered. His paternal uncle was implicated in the plot. Drukpa Kuenley's life was also in danger. Therefore, he was taken to serve Kuntu Sangpo, a local master. He spent enough time under the supervision of the master. This experience influenced his decision to focus on practicing Dharma. Often such accidents proved to be the turning point of any religious person. At this stage, he started to practice religion. At the age of 19, Drukpa Kuenley decided to leave the master and travel throughout the region, following a desire to practice Dharma. The term is commonly understood as referring to order and custom that sustain life, virtue, or religious and moral duties. However, after his journey, upon returning to his family, he found that his mother had married his paternal uncle. He left his family again, giving away valuable possessions and his horse, and began his journey again to practice and teach Dharma. Drukpa Kuenley traveled extensively in south-central Tibet and the southern Himalayas, meeting various teachers and receiving teachings on topics like Dutsa, Ningpo, Mahamudra, and Tumo, topics that are left unexplained in the historical sources. Drukpa Kuenley took his novice monastic vows. Buddhist monastic vows are commitments taken by monks and nuns to live a life of moral discipline, including refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and intoxication, before the abbot of Nening in South Tibet. There was a legend that Drukpa Kuenley was considered a reincarnation of the Indian Mahasiddha Shawarippa, Buddhist teacher, known for carrying a bow and arrow and leading a hunting dog. This identification was possibly initiated by Drukpa Kuenley himself, and he acknowledged it in his autobiography. At some point, however, he returned his monastic vows. There is no historical documentation available explaining the reason for his decision to renounce his monastic vows. Maybe he renounced them because these vows imposed too much restrictions. And married a woman named Siwang Dzom. Bhutanese sources also mention the name of another wife or consort, Pelsang Bhuti or Norbu Dzom. From this state of his life, his strange and orthodox teaching and practicing of Buddhism began. Drukpa Kuenley spent a significant part of his life traveling between Bhutan and Tibet. In Bhutan, he became a beloved Buddhist figure and patron saint. He became famous for his unconventional methods and teachings, often using humor and outrageous acts. Drukpa Kuenley ventured to Bhutan with the noble intention of imparting Buddhist teachings to the local populace. With the passage of time, he, a devoted Buddhist, thought that the rules for monks were too strict. Instead of following those rules, he lived life in his own lively way. While most monks were expected to be celibate and dedicate themselves to the gods, Kuenley was quite the opposite. He was well known for being with many women and even said he had been with thousands during his life. He also had a strong liking for alcoholic drinks. Surprisingly, despite breaking almost all of the rules of being a good monk, Kuenley wasn't ashamed for his actions. His instructional methods of teaching were notably unconventional and often deemed scandalous. He espoused the belief that he could spread enlightenment by engaging in intimate relations with numerous women. Consequently, his devotees unusually affectionately bestowed upon him the title of Lama Drukpa Kuenley, the Divine Madman. Drukpa Kuenley is renowned as one of the revered Buddhist practitioners in the Himalayan region. He was a proponent of the crazy wisdom tradition, a legitimate path in Buddhism characterized by actions that may seem irrational or unconventional. This maverick monk also assumed the role of social critic, boldly challenging the perceived hypocrisy within the monastic order. To do so, he purposefully adopted the appearance of a wanderer and roamed the countryside, partaking in activities such as singing, dancing, imbibing alcohol, feasting, hunting, and engaging in sexual activities. This was totally negation of conventional teaching and practices of Buddhism. His utilization of his phallus as a flaming thunderbolt weapon symbolized his unorthodox way of practicing Buddhism. There was a legend about the power of his phallus to control evils. Drukpa Kuenley was traveling through Punakha on his way to Dochula Pass. As he journeyed, he spotted an evil demon that had taken the shape of a large black dog, frolicking around the hills. In a remarkable turn of events, he used his extraordinary Bhutanese phallus to knock the demon dog on its head while shouting, "Chimi!" which means, "no dog." It's said that he managed to capture the spirit of the dog inside a stupa. Later, his pupils constructed the Chimi Lakang temple right on the spot where this unusual incident occurred. When he went about his day-to-day life, the divine madman of Bhutan always carried an artificial phallus with him. It was made from wood and ivory. Today, the head monk at Kuenley's temple still carries a similar wooden stuff. Additionally, the phallus has evolved into a symbolic employed to ward off malevolent spirits. After Kuenley's apparent success in using his thunderbolt of flaming wisdom to defeat demons, locals began a unique practice of painting phalluses on the walls of their homes and businesses. Why? Well, it was all in the name of warding off demons and evil spirits. This tradition has stood the test of time and is still observed today. Many Bhutanese folks believe that adorning their houses with these genitalia artworks safeguards them from becoming the topic of gossip. Beyond their role in battling malevolent spirits, phalluses held historical significance in Bhutanese culture as symbols of fertility. You could even find some temples with gardens featuring these phallic symbols outside their premises. Chimi Lakang is also famous as a fertility temple in Bhutan. Many people, both from Bhutan and around the world, visit this place when they're having trouble having children. It's like a special place to seek help in having babies. Legend has it that when folks sought help from Kuenley, they had to bring him a lovely lady and a bottle of wine as a kind of gift. Nowadays, if you make your way to Kuenley's temple, Chimi Lakang, you'll spot plenty of aged wine crates scattered around outside the temple grounds. It's a tradition that endures, even centuries after his time, with devout Buddhists continuing to bring these offerings when they visit the Punakha region. Bhutanese oral traditions of Drukpa Kuenley maintain that he did not actually die, but instead, for the benefit of beings, he sent his consciousness to the Jokang temple in Lhasa, where it entered the side of Jowo Sakyamuni's statue. There, he resides to this day, awaiting the appropriate time to return to benefit beings. The tale of Bhutan's divine madman and his followers' fascination with phalluses may seem strange to you. Whether you believe these stories or not, there is an important lesson to learn from them. Drukpa Kuenley, the divine madman, was undeniably a nonconformist. He charted his own course towards enlightenment, choosing to live life on his terms rather than conforming to the expectations placed upon a monk. What's your perspective on his teaching style? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining us in this captivating journey into the intriguing life of Bhutan's divine madman, Drukpa Kuenley. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content.